Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this NXT July 31st, 2019 review. I know I'm a couple of days late than usual. Just went ahead and watched this episode just recently. And I have to say, it was pretty interesting. Good wrestling show. Three good matches on the show. Plus, a really good hype up for the matchup between Mia Yim and Shayna Baszler. Really enjoyed this segment that they had about the talk between the two of them. And these two are really good competitors. They gel very well together, have very good chemistry. I'm actually very excited to see these two go at it one on one. They seem like they have a good chemistry together, and I have a good feeling that Mia Yim is going to be probably by far the best opponent Shayna Baszler has ever faced. Reason for my comment on that is because Mia Yim seems so realistic, gritty, very determined, and comes across like the people's champion type of image in the women's division right now. Kairi Sane didn't really have that. She had that underdog mentality, but at the same time, she wasn't so much of a realistic character. Mia Yim has that quality to her character. So that is why I see this to be probably Shayna Baszler's best opponent that she's defending the title against of all time in her title reigns. I think her second title reign or third. I'm not sure. I think, yeah, second title reign. And I think this is going to be a very interesting matchup. Whether Mia Yim wins or loses, it's going to be a great match no matter what. So I'm very much intrigued with this matchup. The build is very solid. It's straight to the point. Didn't have to use a lot of segments to help build this matchup into what it is. And she's taking no prisoners. She wants to win that title and beat Shayna Baszler for that belt and become the new world champion in the women's division of NXT. So that's a very good job on NXT's part. And just a couple of segments just to help build this event, this matchup between these two women has been a fantastic job. Very solid work by by NXT Creative just for this match alone. Now, Candice LeRae is actually was announced during this event that she is going to face Oi Shirai in a one-on-one matchup at NXT TakeOver as well. Now, I'm a little disappointed that Matt Riddle is not being placed on the card with Killian Dane. I think that attack that Killian Dane did to Matt Riddle was well deserving for a main card matchup on the NXT TakeOver Toronto event, which I actually predicted was going to be that match as one of the matches on the card. And I was correct about the match was going to happen, but I was incorrect about when they were going to make it happen, which I think this is more of a pay-per-view type matchup than anything else. It's a very good grudge match. Now, granted, I'm pretty certain that Matt Riddle and Killian Dane are going to be the main event of this next NXT episode that's coming up next week. But at the same time, I'm kind of a little disappointed this match is not being placed on the main card of NXT TakeOver. I think at this point, NXT has proven themselves time and time again, and with these TakeOver events, they can expand the show, make it a little bit longer, and I think 6 matches would be what the doctor ordered for this. Especially this being SummerSlam weekend, I think they should put these two on the card and make them part of the NXT TakeOver event altogether. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys thought of that comment I just made. But anyway, let's get into the matches here. Matches overall were very decent. Solid matches, not anything that screamed holy shit, it's absolutely amazing type of thing, but solid matches nonetheless. We had I forgot his Jason Riker, I think is his name. He used to be on TNA's with the Forgotten Sons as their muscle man of that tag team division, or that tag team faction. and he faced Tyler Breeze that night. And they competed in a pretty decent, solid matchup. Tyler Breeze picked up the victory in a close matchup nonetheless. And then Fandango came out of nowhere. And they're making Tyler Breeze seem so important. They are making him seem natural. He's not so over-the-top ridiculous and stupid and goofy. And Fandango, my God, he came back. He looks so different. He looks like a legit superstar. He looks like somebody you could go ahead and say to yourself, wow, I could see that guy as a main eventer possibly at some point. He really looks like he belongs in a wrestling ring. He is being taken seriously. And the way he looked that night on Wednesday night this past week, he looked legit. Like, if he was to come back to the WWE main roster, he would fit in as a guy that you could push to a mid-card title or even a main event grudge match type deal with a big superstar. Because the way he looked so natural. He didn't look so stupid and retarded looking. He just looked natural. And that is what I'm looking for. The gimmick, Fandango, yeah, do it. Go with it. I mean, it's for an entrance. But when he gets inside that ring, it's Shawn Michaels type attitude, kick ass, Triple H type attitude, whatever you want to go with. When that bell rings, that's when he needs to become serious and fucking entertaining in that ring. Outside of it, tone down the little goofiness part of him and the gimmick a little bit, but at the same time, help him seem funny. Get him to be entertaining on the mic. If they can do something like that, like an even keel between entertaining and serious, then you got a solid character in Fandango. Totally believe that. We also had Cameron Grimes versus Bronson Reed. This was a semifinals NXT breakout tournament. I'm not surprised that they went with Cameron Grimes because of the fact of his name being in the fact that he was part of the Impact Wrestling roster for such a long period of time. He was pushed as one of their major X Division champions. And, I mean, Jordan Miles being pushed to the finals, I'm not surprised by that either. He was one of Ring of Honor's big stars. He wasn't one of the guys that made it to the main event, like world title pictures and stuff, but he actually had some super big matches in that company. And very well known for his name by the name of ACH. He is an outstanding performer. He had matches with Cedric Alexander as well. Those two had some great encounters with each other. I think they fought each other maybe once or twice, maybe even 3 times possibly at the max. To see Jordan Miles team with Cedric Alexander later on in the future, if they put him on the main roster, I think would do wonders for Cedric Alexander if he's got nothing to do by the time Jordan Miles makes it to the main roster. I think that would be an awesome idea for them to go with these two guys, since they may not have anything planned for them. So in the tag team division, with two guys that have nothing going on with their careers for storyline purposes, put them in a tag team division. The best thing you can do with tag team wrestling right now at this point is make competition. You don't need storylines for tag team wrestling. All you need is competition, back and forth, competing over titles, moving up in the ranks to become a number one contender for the tag team titles. It's all you got to do. They depend on each other, working as a team to help each other become popular within the WWE. It's as simple as that. And I think Jordan Miles and Cedric Alexander would make a great tag team, most importantly. Definitely would see them as tag team champions and very legit tag team champions nonetheless. So this matchup was a pretty solid, okay matchup. I didn't have any issues with this matchup either. So that's basically it. Nothing to cry home about. It was a okay matchup. I already discussed about Candice LeRae and Shayna Baszler's matches already being set up and so forth, and a little bit of hype up and push and what they're going with here. I did talk about Matt Riddle. That was another thing I discussed on the side segments that occurred during this event. And then we had Pete Dunne facing Roderick Strong. This matchup went on for 20 minutes plus. Boy, did they put on a good show. Solid matchup nonetheless. I didn't think it, got me out of my seat or get me all crazy over it. But it was a good match for a main event television matchup. Something you won't see on WWE programming at all. As I've already mentioned before in the past, I do follow a month behind on WWE off of the WWE network and keep up with storylines and so forth, just so I don't have to sit through 3 hours of fucking torture and then another 2 hours the next day with some more torture from SmackDown. So that's what I do on my own personal time instead of wasting it watching it in real time and seeing nothing but commercials and boring ass matches that don't keep my attention at all. So yeah, this matchup went on for 20 minutes plus, as I just mentioned. It ended up being a submission by Pete Dunne on Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong submitted by tapping out because of the fact his fingers that were damaged last week were damaged again. He took both this finger and this finger, his middle finger and his ring finger, and snapped them in two, basically. Of course, it wasn't real, but it was meant to draw a point to that move that it is so painful it will make you tap out in submission. And that's pretty much what happened here. Then we had Velveteen Dream make a small appearance on this show at the end after the match ended, and then tried to hit him with the North American Championship. Unfortunately, Pete Dunne saw him coming, and Velveteen Dream kind of held off, forgot about it, didn't change his mind, didn't want to take a chance of him noticing that he was getting ready to clank him over the skull with the belt. So he just decided to play cool and act like he wasn't really trying to do anything at all. At the end of the day, Roderick Strong looked at both of them and said, look, I don't care what the end of the result was on this matchup. I'm still going to beat you guys for that North American Championship and become the new North American Champion. And when he left, Velveteen Dream kind of posed around the ring a little bit, and then Pete Dunne took Velveteen Dream's fingers and snapped them in two, and he was down in pain and agony, and Pete Dunne was the last man standing in the ring while Roderick Strong was up on the ramp, talking trash towards Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne kind of looked at them both and said, whatever. And he just looks like he's just kind of thrown in the mix here. He doesn't look like a threat whatsoever. He looks good. He looks like he's going to be very entertaining, added to the mix in this matchup than just being a regular standard singles match for a world championship. But this matchup will bring some intrigue in the fact that there's that wild card involved with Pete Dunne being thrown in the mix, even though Roderick Strong looked more like the guy that deserved that opportunity since he beat Tyler Breeze. And I do think he pinned Velveteen Dream. Yeah, he pinned Velveteen Dream in that 6-man tag team match weeks ago. And he definitely looks like he is going to win this title. I think that is going to be the guy that wins. The only thing I think they really should go with here is have Velveteen Dream retain the title right now, wait until War Games in November, and then have Velveteen Dream lose the title to Roderick Strong in that singles match that should happen at this Toronto event. I think this is just more hype up and to get more, to make it less predictable that who may win the match. So I would go with Velveteen Dream, but I got that gut feeling in my bones that we're going to see Roderick Strong win this belt, regardless of the fact that we have that unpredictability with Pete Dunne mixed in the middle of this matchup, and so on and so forth. So that's just my overall opinion. That's what I think might go down with that World Championship match. But leave your comments and opinions down below. Hit the like button if you liked the video, and hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to this channel. And I thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great night, guys.